Federal government to prosecute tax offenders through special courts. Federal government to rebuild destroyed structures in southern Kaduna. Coalition of civil society organizations endorse Buhari for a second term. Distribution of permanent voters' cards to begin mid-May this year. Welcome to the News Hour on Television Nigerian. I am Eunice Johnson. The federal government will, from the 1st of April this year, start the prosecution of tax defaulters who failed to take advantage of the 9-month amnesty window provided by the Voluntary Assets and Income Declaration Scheme, VADS. Finance Minister Kemi Adeosun stated in Abuja that the government was aware of the slow nature of the judicial system and would be setting up special courts to fast-track the adjudication of tax-related offences under the VADS initiative. VADS offers a grace period from July 1, 2017 to March 31, 2018 for tax defaulters to voluntarily pay back to government on what they owe. The finance minister further revealed that through the data mining program being implemented under the Project Lighthouse initiative, over 130,000 high-profile individuals had been identified for scrutiny, stating that upon the expiry of the March 31st deadline, the federal government would go after those high-profile individuals. There has been pressure on the presidency in the last few days by some former governors, top politicians, high-profile individuals, business owners and professional bodies, amongst others, to extend the scheme, but the minister stated that the government would not extend the tax amnesty program. The federal government has said it would rebuild houses destroyed during herdsmen-farmers clashes in some parts of southern Kaduna. This was disclosed on Monday in Kavanchan when the Presidential Committee on Herdsmen-Farmers Clashes, headed by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, embarked on an on-the-spot assessment tour to the affected communities in southern Kaduna. The leader of the committee to Kaduna State and Executive Director at the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, Engineer James Akujobi, said the team was in southern Kaduna to evaluate all destroyed structures during herdsmen-farmers clashes in the area. Akujobi stressed that the government, in its concern and determination, would fast-track action to ensure that members of the affected communities, especially farmers, resume back to their means of livelihood. The Independent National Electoral Commission says the distribution of permanent voter cards to their owners will begin by the middle of May. This was disclosed at a strategic meeting involving INEC officials, representatives of security outfits involved in the conduct of the election, as well as the National Orientation Agency and the National Youth Service Corps held in Abakaliki. The Ebonyi INEC Resident Electoral Commissioner, Professor Godswill Obioma, said the commission would commence the distribution of the PVCs to eligible electorate who registered between 2017 and 2018. He urged security officials who were yet to register to take advantage of the ongoing continuous voter registration to register. He further urged members of the security agencies who transferred from other locations wishing to transfer their cards to approach any INEC office nearest to them for the transfer. He warned against double registration, noting that any double registration would result in the cancellation and disqualification of the voter. After the break, Coalition of civil society organizations endorse Buhari for a second term. Thanks for staying tuned. A coalition of civil society organizations, CSOs for good governance and democracy, under the auspices of Coalition for Nigeria movement, have lauded President Muhammadu Buhari's administration and signaled him to contest for a second term in office. In a press conference hosted in Abuja, Nigeria's capital, the coalition frowned at the call by a section of the populace seeking the resignation of President Muhammadu Buhari. The coalition noted with dismay the call for President Buhari to resign by a group known as the Nigeria Intervention Movement, NIM, a subsidiary of the Third Force Movement, stating that the call was comical. The coalition applauded President Buhari's fight against insurgency, urging him to disregard the characters behind the Nigeria Intervention Movement and the Third Force, in quote, and continue to do the good work of nation building. And in sports, home-based Eagles defender at the last Championship of African Nations CHAN in Morocco, Stephen Eze, has earned an invitation to the heart of the defense of the senior national team ahead of the international friendlies. Also, Al Ali of Egypt's forward Junior Ajayi is also in the plan of the Franco-German tactician Gernot Rohr for the build-up matches, as their performances could also earn the duo the chance to be at the World Cup in Russia this summer. The newly signed on Lokomotiv Plovdiv of Bulgaria defender Eze and the Al Ali of Egypt's forward Ajayi were outstanding for Nigeria at the CHAN tournament in Morocco, where the Eagles finished as runners-up and earned the approval of the coach owing to their display at the tournament despite Nigeria's losing to host Morocco 4-0 in the finals. The duo has described the invitation to the national team as a dream come true and pledged to make the country proud at the outing. In the build-up to the World Cup, Super Eagles will play against Poland in Warsaw on Friday, 23rd March, while the game with Serbia will hold at the Hive Stadium in London on Tuesday, 27th March 2018. And on the foreign scene, a 62-year-old Nigerian, Tony Iwobi, has been elected as a senator in Italy. Born in Gusau in northern Nigeria, Iwobi went to Italy 40 years ago as a student and later married an Italian woman before starting an IT company. He became a municipal councillor for the League in Spirano in the 1990s and has since been the League party's spokesman on migration since 2014. He follows the party line, which includes proposals to make it easier to deport migrants and withdraw benefits from those who break rules. Iwobi has been encouraged by leader Matteo Salvini, who said he thought that the new senator would do more for legal immigrants. Iwobi is the first black member of the Italian Upper House of Parliament. To end the news, a recap of the major stories. Federal government to prosecute tax offenders through special courts. Federal government to rebuild destroyed structures in southern Kaduna. Coalition of civil society organizations endorse Buhari for a second term. Distribution of permanent voters' cards to begin mid-May this year. And that's the news hour on Television Nigerian. Before I go, I leave you with this thought. You can do great works by loving what you do and also doing what you love. Thanks for staying tuned. I am Eunice Johnson. Have a lovely evening.